Yes, you guessed it right. Today, once again, we will be creating a ring with our own hands. Hello everyone, let's get straight to the point without unnecessary words. As a base for the ring, I will take casting wax and melt it in a homemade skillet. I will then dip a mandrel with a diameter of 20 millimeters into the molten wax. In the end, we will obtain a ring of that particular size. To ensure that the wax evenly covers the mandrel, I first slightly heated the mandrel itself. Otherwise, the cold metal would instantly solidify the wax, creating an uneven and wavy surface, which is not what we want right now. After trimming off the excess, I flip the blank over to dip it in wax again. This is done to achieve a more or less uniform thickness across the entire width of the ring shank. I use a scalpel to align the edges and smooth out any excess buildup, creating a homogeneous surface. At the same time, I determine the thickness of the future ring. Since today I will show you an experimental technique for creating a ring, I have prepared several experimental blanks just in case. The technique involves randomly breaking the shank and chaotically soldering the pieces together, while also simulating a crumbling surface. But here's the problem, the wax is fresh and warm, which gives it excessive elasticity. In order for the idea to work, I had to put the blanks in the refrigerator. Well, that's better. However, after the first few bends, the blanks instantly started regaining their properties and stopped breaking. So, I had to literally tear apart the last couple of pieces from each other. Then, I arranged the pieces in a line. In the order where the pieces matched the bending side, I gradually started soldering them together, creating a new unpredictable shape for the future ring. As I rotated the blank in my hands, I realized that I would need to further break down the lower part of the shank into smaller pieces. Additionally, I realized that to make this ring stand out, a small skull would fit perfectly, something I hadn't even planned before. To save time in the video, I decided to use a pre-prepared skull bead. After trimming off the excess, I attached a small skull to the ring shank, which fit perfectly into the relief and can be considered the icing on the cake of this work. Then, I carried out a series of steps to smooth the inner part of the ring shank, as well as strengthen and align the outer side. Once I finished working on the design, it was time for molding, and to ensure everything goes well, I weighed everything on scales. Experience is important, but it's still crucial to strictly adhere to proportions. Once the mixture is weighed, just before kneading, we need to start the timer to keep track of the setting time of the plaster, which typically occurs around 7 minutes after the start of mixing. After thoroughly degassing the mixture, we place the mold in a muffle furnace and initiate the firing cycle, which, in this case, lasts for 6 hours. And now I think that the furnace has already warmed up and we are going to pour silver. Closer to the end of the annealing cycle, I turn on the furnace in advance and prepare it for melting metal so that the pouring takes place in a calm mode unless some kind of nonsense happens, which unfortunately happens more often than desired. And this is what the casting looks like immediately after high-pressure washing. Now it remains to cut off the sprues and process the places of their joints with the ring. This is the kind of ring I got today, you could say another improvisation. It turned out quite well, because beautiful does not necessarily mean complex. Well, what do you say? Write your opinion in the comments, take the idea on board and create your own masterpieces. That's all for me today, have a good day friends, and see you again. Bye!